Okay, hey guys, it's Vorschlaghammer. I am doing an emergency live stream because unfortunately I had to delete yesterday's live stream because there was a private family discussion uh, around 19 minutes into it, which I don't really want publicly out there for everyone to hear and see. So I'm doing this live stream to make up for the live stream that I had to delete. But my plan is doing at least one live stream a week for you guys. If I have more time, I'll do maybe 2 live streams and do some other games recordings of matches if I am able to. Currently, the only game I am capable of live streaming is WoT Blitz until I get a better computer. Once I get a better computer, I'll try live streaming standard World of Tanks, World of Warships, Crossout, and hopefully, if my computer is good enough, War Thunder. But yeah, if you like the content, hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you get emails of when I'm going to be doing live streams and when I post videos. But yeah, if you like the games and don't play them, all the games that I'll be streaming and putting up so far are going to be free-to-play games. Download them, uh, Google them if you have to. If not, I'll start putting the links in the description. But without further ado, let's get into the action. Panzer V-4s. These things threw a lot of people off on the standard World of Tanks because they have a Panzer V Panther hull, so the hull bounces a lot of shells, but the turret is still that of a Panzer IV. It is actually very weak in the turret, so that is where you shoot it. That's the key. Shoot them in the turret because you will whittle away their health very easily, and you could also kill crew members and damage their gun, which makes their lives a bit more hectic because they aren't capable of shooting you as well. Yeah, the M3 Lee, very good tank if you can hide the weak spots. The weak spots being pretty much the entire frontal hull and that giant turret on the top of your tank. So if you can hide like in these bushes where the enemy won't be able to see you, and if this Panzer gets out of my way, that'll be awesome. Yeah, oop, there we go, and I missed. Not always the best idea to fire on the move, but I figured I'm gonna either hit or miss, so I might as well take the shot. And there's a light tank. Well, since he's occupying the bush, I'm not going to get any good shots from it. Oh, and of course, as soon as I move, a light tank shows up. M3 Lee and Panzer IV over there. Covenanter down here. There's that Panzer V again. He does not seem to want to push. I'm going to... Yeah, there's a Covenanter. Definitely missed. You see what I'm talking about with the weak spots. I should not be camping here. Alright, Panzer 5-4 is gone. Let's move up on this T-30. Nope, nope. I'm gonna loop all the way around, deal with that M3 Lee first. Ouch. That Covenanter's gonna kill me, I can tell. I know it. Here it comes. Alright, I got away. Let's track down this M3 Lee. Oh boy. I got lucky. I definitely got lucky. There's a KV-1, I believe, out there. Nope, a Crusader. There's the Crusader. Let's loop around on the low ground. This shot will probably never hit. Nope. Ah. He had the 76mm, so he has a longer reload, but as you can tell, a lot more damage than 57mm. Let's see. This Panzer 4D, if he was to rush that Covenanter, he'll be able to kill it. What's this guy's name? Tettles. Ah, he got him. Never mind. Doesn't need to rush him after all. But these guys need to be careful. That Crusader's been camping that bush the entire game. So we can't really push around without that. This Panzer 4D looks to be stock, so he can't do a whole lot from his current position. Yeah, he is. He's stock. If he focuses the T-34 first, he should be able to at least hold. And that confirms that only the Crusader is capping, but he does not have the health to play chicken like that. Or not chicken, but peekaboo. Ah, well. I could have done a lot more than what I did. I didn't do near enough for my team. That Panzer III Ford, he did a good job. So, I'm going to do that for him. I mean, he did a real good job. Good. He did get high caliber. I was kind of afraid he didn't get that. Task. Let's see what the task is. Bonus container. Definitely, if you play World of Tanks Blitz, keep an eye on the bonus containers. You can get credits, you can get spare parts. Spare parts leads to better equipment. Like, I have 3,700, I need 17,000 to increase the traverse speed of my Jagdpanzer 38T Hetzer. Once I get that, I can start working on better equipment down here. Yeah, history of the M3 Lee. It was America's, well, first medium tank, I'm going to say. They had the M2 medium, which ended up branching into the M3 Lee. And the M3 Lee was used in Africa, and I believe some parts of Sicily, before the M4 Sherman really came into the field and took over as the United States' main tank with the Second World War. The M3 Lee was the predecessor to the M4 Sherman, and the Canadians ended up making their Ram 2 medium tank from that of the M3 Lee. The Canadians did not have their own medium tank at the time. So what they did was they bought one from the US, and the United States sent them the M3 Lee. The Canadians said this tank is a joke and took off the 75mm gun that was on it and mounted a turret with an actual gun on the vehicle. And that was a kill steal. I'm not going to deny that. Oh, that is a size plane. Yes, I see the medium tank near our cap circle with 2 tank destroyers on them. I do not advise abandoning teammates. Right now, it's a medium tank against tank destroyer, so he should be able to hold his own. Ooh, nice ammo rack, BT-7 artillery piece. And the Panzer III just killed the UE-57, which means it is now cleanup time with the enemy team. And that is a very dangerous tank, the Matilda. It has a rapid-firing gun, and look at all that armor. It has thick armor all over the place, but if he gives me a side like this, as you can tell, I can still bounce. And that is a Top Gun. Granted, 2 of the kills were stolen, but it is better to finish the enemy instead of letting the enemy survive and get more shots in on you. I'm gonna have to check out what that task was. I believe it's for killing an enemy on the move. I am not entirely sure. But let me see. Here we are. Destroy 2 enemy vehicles in 1 battle. I killed 4, so I got 1,710 spare parts and Verdun Forest camouflage. Let's camouflage out. No, that's Bastille. Is this it? No, that's Forest Windbreak. Where is Verdun Forest? Here it is. Verdun Forest. Ooh, that's actually a pretty nice camo on it. Let's see if I can mount that on other tanks, like this guy. Nope, Verdun Forest is locked. Bummer. Bummer. I wish I got that mission with the Panzer B2. I'm not going to be keeping that M3 Lee much longer once I get the Sherman. So I don't want to go off and mount it because it's 50 credits. Alright, anyways. The Panzer Kampfwagen 38T. Czechoslovakian made. Made for the Germans during the Second World War. And one of the main vehicles with the Blitzkrieg. Followed up by, I believe, Panzer Is and Panzer IIs, as well as an assortment of small tank destroyers. So these tanks were going up against French D2s, D1 medium tanks, Suma S35 medium tanks, and some of the Renault 15s, the light tanks from World War I. And oh, I gotta move. And here's a Panzer S35. It's a captured version, but I'll take a shot at that Luke's. I love how it says another one like that should finish him when I put the first shot into him. Get out of here. Yep, I'm dead. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't have gone that far up. My team's all the way back there. We have a light tank over there, but he's not going to be able to do a whole lot on his own. Not when he's a tier 3 like me and surrounded by tier 4s. But the enemy that pushed on me pushed over the ridge and is currently being torn apart. We do have tier 4 tanks flanking around and hitting the enemy in the rear. But that Matilda is a very, very dangerous tank, as you saw with the last battle. And we need this Jagdpanzer 38T Hetzer to get the kill on him as quickly as possible. And with a 105 mil howitzer to the rear of that tank, it is very doable, but the 105 mil howitzer has low penetration with its armor piercing, and its high explosive is not as effective as you would expect high explosive to be. High explosive is meant that when it hits, it explodes and creates a lot of damage. In World of Tanks, when it hits, if it does not fully penetrate the armor, it doesn't do a lot of damage. Confederate for damaging 4 enemy tanks that my team killed. Let's check the chat. Alright. One of my clanmates asking if I was streaming on YouTube, I think. Let's check tasks. What else? That's for tier 6s. This one. Damage an enemy while on the move. I thought I did that. Drive a tier 4 vehicle. That's why I didn't get it. So the Panzer III, it was early war, very common in Africa and Russia. I believe there may have been a few Panzer IIIs with the Blitzkrieg, but do not quote me on that as I am not 100% sure. I will have to look that up at a later time. They had 75 millimeter, 50 millimeter cannons. The 75 millimeter cannons were low velocity, and when they hit, the amount of shrapnel that went into the tank just completely killed the crew if it penetrated that tank. The 50 millimeter was a higher velocity shell, which if it hit, it could very easily penetrate a tank, but there was not as much shrapnel. As it is a higher velocity, it could very easily, on tanks like the T-82, it would go through the side and through the other side without much of any problem. So, I can't exactly go this way. I'm going to have to go around. This version of Himmelsdorf is a lot different from the Himmelsdorf of the standard PC version. And there we go. I got the mission. Missions in this are very easy to complete. World of Tanks Blitz is for mobile, and with Steam, you can play on the computer and turn off the fire. Always carry fire extinguishers, other forms of consumables like repair kits, first aid kits. If you lose your crew member, the repair kit will not heal them, but the first aid kit will. And the repair kits will fix tracks. And with a little bit of angling, you can survive a few shells, but as you can see, I can't survive enough to adequately do damage and continue the fight in order to protect the UE-57. So, unfortunately, I think we're probably going to lose this because the DW2 wagon is outnumbered and surrounded, and the T-46, while he is capable of providing supporting fire, his gun is not capable of getting through a Panzer S-35's hull adequately. I'm trying to tell the Wagen 2 to shoot the driver's hatch. And I'm actually surprised the T-46 can get through a Panzer S-35's armor. But as you can see, he was low on health. Der Wagen 2 is pulling the score back. He's on 5 kills. If he kills the Panzer III, then he will have a... Oh, no, he won't have a Pool's Medal as he is not a Tier 5, unfortunately. He will have a Top Gun, but he will not be getting a Radley Walters for his 5 kills. And that is a good game, and I know I said this will probably be a loss, but very well played to that Der Wagen. Definitely going to be giving him a effective player compliment because he did a phenomenal job. And let's see, not that, here we are. Top Gun, High Caliber, and Steel Wall. And a Mastery Badge First Class. So player 94794, rest of that, very well played. Let's check what's on chat. I'll save this one for later as I don't really need anything with it. I recently got the upgraded gun on the Sturmgeschütz 3G. So, this is the gun from the Hetzer. It has 110 pen. The upgrade gun, which I have on it now, the PAC 42 L70, has 150 pen. The 105 I was talking about, 64 pen with its armor piercing, high explosive. Granted, it does 330 damage with armor piercing and 410 with high explosive. It does not adequately penetrate the target like the 75s will. So you are more likely to get adequate damage with a 75 than a 105, but to personal preference on what gun you use. I will not tell you what gun you are supposed to use. I can recommend what guns would be best for what tank as well as what equipment, but you will not see me saying use this gun and only this gun. That's not the type of thing I do. And we have someone from Havoc on the enemy team. Havoc is one of the top clans for World of Tanks PC version. So this is going to be a very difficult match. Hopefully I will be able to adequately support the team from my sniping bush. And oh, Mr. Havoc, I must say, I am surprised that I didn't get a hate message. So, Havoc, while yes, Havoc is one of the top clans, they can be arrogant at times. Now, I said at times because there are a lot of players in Havoc that let egos get to their head. I let my ego get to my head every now and then, but it is not not often. And when I do let my ego get to my head and I realize that it's something I should not have said, then I will go and apologize for what I had said. Oh, I am sorry about that, Crusader. Go ahead. Oh, we got tanks on our flank. And it's a Chaffee. And that hurt. That was a T1 heavy. Or either that or the KV1. All I know is I'm hurt. I need to heal my gunner. I need to get out of here. I need to get into a position where I'm fighting one enemy at a time, not 3. And this Chaffee is giving me that opportunity, except for the fact that, okay, good. Now I've got a T1 heavy problem. So let's call in for friendly fire on them, then get out of here. So I'm on the retreat, trying to keep as much cover between me and him as I get out of the combat zone and relocate so I can fire effectively on the enemy without being killed in the process. Ace tank destroyers like the Sturmgeschütz 3 are more of sniper tank destroyers because of the fact that they do not have a turret. Their gun limitations are, well, gun limitations. You do not have a turret, so you cannot rotate that gun all the way around your tank. So if the enemy flanks you, and I did not need to miss that shot. Get out of my way, buddy. There we go. Yep. Well played, Gaming Chief. Very well played. I expect nothing else from people in Havoc. They are good players. If they keep their egos checked, then they are very polite players and they're players that you can get along with. I believe that Gaming Chief, at least I want to make sure that, yeah, Gaming Chief, I believe he is going to be one of those players that I can easily get along with and play games with, because so far he's kept his ego in check and he's shown that he is a very polite player. In our BDR G1B 90mm gun, good gun, of support during the reload. Our team got wiped out fairly quickly and he didn't have the support he needed, so he wasn't able to adequately fire his gun very well. But again, Gaming Havoc, very well played. You forced me to run, and then when I tried supporting my team, you forced me into a corner where I could not adequately support my team. And by doing so, you made me a single target without support because my teammates were engaged against an enemy, and so I had to actually put my own life on the line to help them around that corner. Very well played. And this is where I start worrying. There is a KV2 on the enemy team. What's wrong with a KV2, you might ask? 52mm howitzer that does, in this, 1100 average damage. with 86 millimeters of penetration with its high explosive. It one-shot kills tanks. No questions asked. It just one-shot kills tanks. It is not a tank you want to see on the enemy team. And he is saying, hey, hi, I am going to get killed by a KV-2. I can already see it. Good game. I'm joking. I'm going to try my best. But when you see a KV-2, it's not a good sign. Can you get out of my way? Thank you. Don't know what the Chaffee's trying to do. Man, I keep forgetting I have to hit tab, and I wish this Chaffee would go out and spot enemy tanks like he's supposed to. Chaffee is a light tank. It is meant to go off and enemy, not sit back with the tank destroyer and let the tank destroyer and everything else spot the enemy. Now, as you can see, I am caught in the open, and that was a KV-2. I knew I was going to get killed by him. I went to shoot at the Chaffee, and dead. Quite frankly, I would rather be killed by a KV-2's 152 instead of being picked apart little by little. But it's never fun getting killed early on by a KV-2, especially when you don't see them when they take the shot. Granted, I am now a hypocrite for saying that because on World of Tanks PC version, I have a KV-2. I have a 689 meter blind shot with a KV-2. He was outside of the render range, which is the maximum view range you can see. So I had actually used my map to line up the shot on him, and I managed to hit this Firefly and kill him. So it was a very, very well-placed and lucky shot for me to actually take and hit. Now, let's see if now the KV-1's on fire. Alright, his fire's out, but he's a one-shot kill for everything. Now, bit ironic, the KV-1's name, Firebro, he was set on fire. It's ironic. Killer Invader 008, give me a second and I'll get to that. Is it? I'm still trying to figure out how to accept. Oh, it's in the chat. Give me a second, my game decided to lag. Alright, chat. Killer Invader. Alright, thank you, Killer Invader. Let me add you to the friend list, and TJ. Hello, TJ. Alright, let's try that again. Hopefully I don't get one-shot killed because that leads to no content for you guys. And I like giving you guys content. Giving you guys content means a fun day for you. And it's a fun day for me because it means by giving you content. Alright, thankfully there's nothing here that can one-shot kill me unless the Stug 3Gs have 105 mil howitzers. But even so, I don't think they can actually kill me with one shot. I have to check the amount of health I have. They do 410 with their high explosive. Now, to anyone watching this, I have one thing to say. Please, please do not stream snipe any live streamers, because it leads to live streamers wanting to, well, it makes them mad, and then they don't want to continue playing, because what's the point if they're just going to get shot by tanks they can't see, who are using the positions that are revealed to them from... Oh, I took a lot of damage from that. Let's finish them off. Let's hit that Sturmgeschütz. And I missed. Let's try to get around them. Nope. Well played, Chili Moose. Well played by the enemy team. The reason I went this way was to support our heavy tank, because he had already engaged against 2 enemy vehicles. I wanted to give him some support and hopefully allow the medium tanks on the far flank over here to flank around and come up behind the enemy forces. However, I was not expecting the entire enemy team up there, which is the tactic you want to use in Blitz. Stay with your team. That way you are more likely to, one, survive, because it is harder to kill 7 tanks at once than it is 2 or 3 tanks. So you want to stay as a group. It is a common tactic in armored warfare to stay with your allied armor, so that you can move as one unit. And I think that's the 105 on this M4, but I'm not entirely sure. That was a lucky bounce. His tracks ate it. I believe it might have been the DW2 that shot him, or that T-34. It could have been the T-34. 160. I think that is the 105 mil howitzer. I don't think he fully penetrated the armor, so he rolled low. And good game. Well played by the enemy team for noticing that there was only a handful of tanks on that flank and pushing up. But after that, you kind of split off 2 groups. Is a valid tactic. In real life, your armor actually means something in real life. Not saying that armor does not mean anything in this game. Armor still means life or death in this game. But it is easier to survive in real life with tanks than it is in a game, because, well, games are games. They're meant to be balanced, and the weaponry is meant to be able to deal with the targets that you come up with. So the armor values are nerfed to make the vehicle a bit weaker for the guns that it would be going up against. Some gun stats may be in order to deal with they're saying field, so let's go field. I have never gone field on this map. I have only ever gone city and the little mountain range on that flank. So this is a... Whoa, we've got tanks. All right, let's engage. And that's an M5. Let's heal my driver. And this is dangerous. This is very dangerous. And yep, as soon as I saw that Hetzer come over the ridge, it was over. Nice play, Hetzer. Did not expect that move. And it's 0-4. This is going to be a loss. Our team's spread all over the place, so they cannot support each other and support each other at all. While we are pulling back some kills, it's just we are too far apart. This A20 has a full health heavy tank to deal with. That BT7 artillery has a full health, or not close to full health or heavy tank. And now it's the Lukes. Ooh, there went some ME-109s. I keep finding more vehicles on this map every time I play it. There was the, I believe, B2, Germany's largest boat plane. It flew overhead last time I was on this map, and then 3 ME-109s went by. This Lukes has a 3cm or 30mm autocannon. This cannon was originally designed for the Ju-87 Stuka dive bomber, and it was designed. Oh, that recognize those roundels. Diamonds, white diamonds. If anyone knows what roundel that is, please message me what roundel it is, or comment on the video if you are capable to. I believe I enabled comments. But back to the 3cm before I was rudely interrupted by those planes. This gun was designed for the Ju-87 to destroy enemy tanks, and it worked well enough on the Ju-87 that the German, I believe here, decided to mount the gun on a Panzer II, and they found that they needed a slightly bigger turret, so they made the Panzer II OSF-L Lukes. Gave it a slightly bigger turret to be able to mount the 30mm gun, and 2 Lukes, I believe, were issued and sent out onto the front. Now, a Lukes is a very good tank. As you can see, he has 2 kills, but it is good when supported. It is a light tank. It does not have armor. Well, it has armor, but not enough adequate armor. And there goes the boat plane I was talking about. It is quick, it has good view range, and a very powerful and dangerous gun. However, the lack of armor is the downfall. That was a very heavy angle the B1 was able to penetrate at. So, not much armor is the downfall of the Lukes. Favorable, very high speed. Overall good tank. Yeah. All right. 4008. He's one of my clanmates. He recently had a shot on a TOG 2 in no ammo rack. Alright, let me pull up the TOG. What he's talking about is right here. Right there is ammunition housed. There, and here. Oh, wait. No. Here and here is engine. Right here is fuel tanks, and that's ammunition. That's ammunition. And that is ammunition. So what happened was his KV-2 hit right there and detonated ammunition. And as you can see from upgrades, 1,540 hit points. KV-2's max damage is 1,200. Alright, since he didn't get the kill, I know what happened. He hit the tank the same time as someone else did. So the damage was calculated at the same time. Alright. This does happen in the PC version. So yeah, that's what happened with him. Now that we have that figured out, we ended the mystery behind his massive damage roll with a KV-2, which is what I'm going up with the T-28. My plan is stopping at the KV-2 because the KV-2 is fun. If you play World of Tanks PC, World of Tanks console, or World of Tanks Blitz, try the KV-2. If you play War Thunder, the KV-2 is a lot harder to play because you have to tell what the elevation you need to put your gun at in order to hit target, but it is still fun to play. The KV-2, oh man, when I first played the KV-2, it was known as the KV and was at tier 5 on PC version. There was no KV-1, no KV-2, it was the KV at tier 5. It was basically the KV-1 with which you could mount the KV-2 turret and mount the 152mm gun on it. And it saw -3 plus 4 tier spread. So it went from tier 2 to tier 9 tier spread. So it was balanced because of that high tier spread. But a lot of people still thought it was unfair and overpowered because of the fact that I had that 152. Let's try spotting that light tank. Got TDs in middle. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna spot tanks up here and cut them off before they can move on our tank destroyer. And there he is. Sorry about this, cruiser. Nothing personal. Nothing personal, cruiser. It's just you don't let fast medium tanks you and circle you. It never turns out good. And I found the rest of their team. this is where the leg starts hitting. Yep, I'm going to die here soon. Yep. Well played, Ketsalv VF, and well played to the Panzer IV-A and that medium 3 for focusing on my tank as I was the highest tier in this area. I posed the biggest threat. My plan, the reason I was focusing the M3 light as soon as he came into line of sight, is he is a light tank. Spot enemy tanks. That's their main role. And by spotting the enemy tanks, it allows your team to adequately take advantage of that, like that UE-57 did on the Su-85B. It allows your allies to focus fire in adequately as they now know where the enemy is, how much hit points they are on, and whether or not they are hold on, new account. I say let them in for now. But yeah, you'll see me chatting with people and stuff. Hopefully I will not have to take this video down like I did with yesterday's video, as I now have an agreement with my mother. I'm telling her when I'm going to be streaming and recording so that she knows, and there won't be any more awkward situations of broadcasting a private conversation in which I will be able to keep my content up for all of you to view it and hopefully have fun watching my screw-ups as well as my successes. Now, the BTSV, that little tier 3 right here, the BTSV, I do not know what the name stands for. I call it the Boat Tank Soviet Vehicle because, well, it is a Soviet tank, so Soviet vehicle, and it is actually, ooh, that looked like a, that might have been a Focke-Wulf 190. Not entirely sure, but there's the enemy. So let's move. Are they all AFK? Well, this light tank isn't, and it's the BTSV. Look at that. That is why I call it a boat tank. It is meant for water. And now, he now knows I am alone, and you see the amount of armor this thing has. It is good if you do not get snagged. Ah, crap. You do not get snagged like he did. You can adequately survive. And I'm going to be dead. Yep. Well played. Very well played to the BTSV. And thank you to the Stuart for the support. Even though we were unable to kill him before I died, thank you for the support. I appreciate it when teammates come to help me because I do the best I can to support the team. I went that route in order to support the light tank we had over there, which I think might have been that M3 Stuart, actually. Yes, I believe it was the M3 Stuart. Actually, it was. I know it was the M3 Stuart. So thank you, M3 Stuart. I went to watch your back and you watched mine. That is how a team is meant to play. Now, what happened here, which is why we were able to win, even though we split into two forces. 3 of the enemy tanks were either still loading into the match or were AFK or away from their phone. As this is played on mobile and computer, you can get people on computer like me going up against people on their phones. So it makes it unfair for those who are on mobile, which is why I'm trying to get a new computer instead of a stock Walmart. That way I can actually go off and play without, well, seal clubbing, like what my clanmate said with seal clubbing tanks, without seal clubbing, because I do not want to go off and make the game unenjoyable for people by racking up a ton of kills and bad. That's not what I want to do. I want to get to the higher tier vehicles quickly with this so that I can go up against more experienced players instead of the newer players at tier 3 and 4. Because it is very easy to get to tier 3 and 4. I got my first tier 4 in Blitz in about 65 battles. It is very easy to get to tier 4. So, now, yes, my team is splitting off into high and low ground. I actually prefer going into the high ground to provide sniper support for my team. And this is the downside of it. Oh man, T7 combat cars. I do not like those things. And now, as you can see, I have no health. So I'm going to start the sniper support. If I can accurately hit target, that is. And I hit the dirt. I'll move up. Hopefully that D2 can handle the BT7 while I target this BT7 artillery. Alright. I did damage that BT7 or BT7, so that my teammate down there could... Guys down there. Thought it was just the D2. Move in. Not going to be able to support them down here. Now we got medium tanks moving in on the flank. I've got to move in quickly. Ooh, someone took a pot shot at me. I don't blame them for doing it because I would do that as well. Alright, let's get down in the low ground. And there went... it sounded like a high explosive shell that went flying past my head. Nice shot, nice shot. But as you can see, we are now heavily outnumbered. Bummer. Did not want to lose him. Good, he is trapped. As long as I can keep him like that. There we go. And nice shot by the Cruiser 4. Hopefully our D2 will be able to survive and deal with the enemy. Point your front towards them. Front has the thickest armor on any vehicle. So, strategy to remember. Always point your front towards the enemy. If you need to, angle your armor. It increases the thickness of your armor, but never go sideways on and never point your rear armor towards them. When he died with that angle, tank, he had, and back to my tank, but he had just about a flat angle on the enemy. So his shell was capable of going through. It is 7 p.m. We have 1 hour left at the stream. I'm going to take a small break, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, I am back. Let's see, what do I need? 3,000 for the 6-pounder Mark IV, which is the gun I am going to be using on the Valentine AT rather than 3.7-inch howitzer. 25 pen with high explosive, 110 with heat, 330 damage with high explosive, and 190 with the heat, versus 110 for AP, 180 for APCR, and 15 for high explosive, for 90 damage, 80 damage, and 100 damage. So I go for better penetration and better rate of fire because it means you have a higher chance of having a better chance of having higher damage per minute. When I get the Electo, you need to have the 3.7-inch howitzer to get the 25-pounder AT gun. Yes, it has less penetration, 71 versus the 110, but 210 damage with its armor-piercing shell. 300 with its high explosive with 44 pen. It's not the best, but not the worst. So I'd love to try that gun. World of Tanks PC does not have this gun available for the Electo. I use the 3.7-inch howitzer with the Electo and fire over top of ridgelines onto enemy targets. Sort of like an artillery piece. Oh, mines. Hopefully I get, I believe it's the southern spawn. Not entirely sure, but I think it's the southern spawn. Because the southern spawn, it has a very overpowered position on it for tank destroyers in this game. So we'll find out if I have the correct spawn, because if so, I will be able to dominate the lighthouse and the hill region, and I am on the wrong side of the map. So I am going to go up with this Su-76 and try to provide fire support to the middle. But you can kind of see the location way out there by the pine trees, the right next to where the ping number is at. So where does the Su-76 is out there? Oh, we got Su-76 on the flank, as well as a light tank. It is a T-46. So let's get into a better position. I'd like to use that bush. I might not be able to. 1 second. Oh, there he is. Ah, bummer. Spikes. Oh, wow. That's definitely leg spike. And I can hear that. Where's that Sioux? He's coming around on me. I know it. Or he's going to flank. He's coming up from this side. There he is. I missed him. And nice engine fire. I'd like to set him on fire again, but I doubt I'll be able to. All I can hope for is that he misses or bounces, and there's a bounce. And phew, that was a lucky bounce. I needed that bounce. Definitely needed it. Ooh. Will he come out? Yes, he I missed. But I will get a shot in on him before he can leave. There we go. E7 combat car down on the far end, and he's the last guy alive. That T-46, when he came up there, oh, I should have been a dead man. But he shot the hull. Let's check damage. Yes, I was highest on damage. But, upgrades. One, I've got my gun. Search that. Good. Now, let's go to the armor. Armor. 60 millimeters of armor. On the front hull, side hull, and rear hull. But the gun shield is 14. The ammunition is in the sides, protected by 14 millimeters of armor. You want to kill an Valentine AT? You shoot the fighting compartment, the gun box. That is the best way to kill a Valentine AT. And now that I told everybody that, I'm going to start dying very quickly in the Valentine AT. So, but now I am in the Jagdpanzer 38T, 60 millimeters of frontal armor. Oh, we have two M4A2E4s. This is going to be interesting. It's been a long time since I've seen one of those. They're premium tanks that you can't buy anymore. So, they are very rare premium tanks. But the Hetzer, very good traverse rate. So you can spin this tank around. It has a mine, once I get everything upgraded, will have a 59 point something traverse rate, which means I will be turning full 360 almost 6 seconds. So it is already very difficult for someone to circle a Hetzer. If I add that equipment, it will make it impossible to accurately circle a Hetzer. The weak point, that lower plate. Yeah, you have to hide the lower plate. Okay, we got a customer. And I bounced. Why, see all that red? And he pinned, and I bounced off his lower plate. Okay. This is not good. Need to break off. I want to do a little bit of damage to this guy. Shoot his turret. Alright. Let's repair that ammunition and hopefully get out of here before getting killed. Someone is capping the base. Nope, I will not be able to sneak up. You see what I mean by thick armor. And yep, Panzer IV-D on the flank. I was out of position and had targets on 3 sides. The Panzer III-4 over there, which was protected by a rock. The Panzer IV-D, which I thought the hill was protecting me. But for that, I should have been a bit more to the right, a bit closer to that rock. And then the Crusader in the front. So my initial plan was go up and assist the Electo in dealing with the tanks over there when the Crusader hit. But now the enemy is capping the base. This Chaffee can make it over there in time to reset. That Crusader, he can make it over there, but he is AFK. So he is not in the game. So he will never make it in time because he is not here. Which means that Chaffee is our best hope. And he is now trying to track down a Panzer III-4. And getting shot at by a Wolverine. Dangerous Wolverines. They can mount a 105 mil howitzer in World of Tanks version. I'm not sure if they can do that in Blitz. And game is over. And the Chaffee did get the Panzer III-4 he was after. Fast enough. However, when there is a kill, he sets the last 5-second timer. After match, there is 5 seconds for the enemy to screw up. And if you get a kill or someone dies, then it resets that timer back to 5 seconds. And by doing that, it means that the 5 seconds could turn into, say, 9 seconds if you kill someone within 4 seconds. In which kills always override cap. So if you cap and you only have one guy left, and the enemy team kills that one guy within those 5 seconds, the enemy team wins. So remember that if you already lost by capping, continue the fight, focusing on low health targets so that your team can lower the higher health targets and you can extend that time frame. But remember, you have 5 seconds to do it. So you have to make every shot count. I'm going to go over to my bushes and hopefully get some good content for you guys. Because, again, I want this to be fun for you as I want it to be fun for me. And this area is a little bit overpowered. And I shot a target I wasn't even aiming for. But hey, damage is damage. And he doesn't even realize I'm here even though I've been spotted. But he died in the worst place spot. Ooh, that Chaffee moved. Or not Chaffee, but Luke's. I need to move in. Oh boy. This got dangerous quickly. Very quickly. There's a KV-1 on my flank. I'm going to support that. Ooh. Oh dear. Alright, he got hit. Try to support this flank. There we go. There's some good shots. And he's backing up for me. Excellent, excellent. Hill or building. Need him to push forward. Ooh, that's 35. No, 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 no. Bad, bad, bad. Stop with the leg. Me. But the leopard can, and that hetzer can. And I backed up where that guy could shoot me, so I made a big mistake backing up like that. I should have tried staying forward. Could have possibly dealt with that hetzer. But this Chaffee, he can afford to take a shot from the S-35CA, which he did. All right, now that hetzer just caused the Lukes, or not Lukes, but Leopard to run out of ammo. So it is a Chaffee versus a KV-1 and a hetzer, and they have them boxed in, and there's the hetzer. He has got to circle this TD. But remember what I said, it is next to impossible to circle a hetzer. You have to track him. But unfortunately, he could not get the tracking shot he needed, and then he ran into the dead leopard. So, but bad area for the leopard to die in. Let's check chat. Fun use of music bot. They're using Discord. I'm currently not on Discord because I want to focus more on you guys. 1,500 people talking in my ear, trying to get me to talk to them, say hi to them, and it distracts me from the actual gameplay. And as you can see, I'm already suffering from lag, so by being on Discord, I will suffer from more lag, and it'll ruin the gameplay for all of you. So until I get a better computer, I'm not going to be doing Discord, and unfortunately not going to be doing platoons with you guys. Once I get this new computer, however, if you see me online, send me a message saying you want to platoon, I'll invite you to a platoon. If I have, say, want to platoon, I'll start swapping people out for others. So we will platoon and we'll have a good time. Now, something I wish Blitz did was, I'm not sure if they have this or not. So far, I haven't seen a setting for colorblind mode, which is a setting that I personally like to use. I think the M3 Lee has switched to high explosive. Maybe not. This Churchill 3 is providing me with cover. Alright, there he goes. I need to hit that Su-85. That is what I have to do. Alright, heads are fired. That gives me a chance to come in and do that. And there we go, base reset. And now I'm tracked. Engine got hit. M4 Sherman. Nicely done, M4. Su-85, I am sorry. I'm gonna have to say that's Flewellen, but if I'm wrong, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry for shooting you like I did, but I had to reset that cap. My team would have lost, and I'm trying to win just as much as all of you, and I'm trying to win for my team more than myself. I'm more of a team player. I go to support others. I don't go for all the kills. I don't try to go forward doing hero runs to, well, yeah, I do some hero runs to defend the base, like that. I pretty much threw my tank away for the reset in order to allow my team to successfully win the match. And by doing so, it made it possible for my team to win, and not just win, but get the damage, get the experience, and the credits from doing so. Ooh. A Joseph Stalin heavy tank, and then a Su-100Y. The box tank is a very dangerous tank. We also have a Joseph Stalin, which is a formidable heavy tank. Hopefully I do not have a lot of problems with that Joseph Stalin or the KV-13, and definitely I hope I avoid the KV-3. KV-3s, Joseph Stalins, they love Togs. Tog has no armor. What, you think I'm joking? This thing has next to no armor. And the ammunition is behind those doors. Yeah, I do not want to be hit by anything. And a Su-100Y, it has a gun that does, I believe, 420 damage in this game. It does 440 in World of Tanks PC version, and with the piercing shells, it does 540 in the World of Tanks PC version. And I have been spotted. I do not know what by. All I know is I am in a very tight... Oh, I'm taking fire. I wasted that shot. It is a jumbo, and he has the bad... that was a shot from the Su-100Y. I'm going to back off and focus on him. And I bounced. And, yep, you see why I do not like going up against tier 7s with a Tog. I said it had no armor, and yeah, it had no armor. Now, what could I have done differently? Well, one thing for sure, I could have stayed back with a Joseph Stalin and not pushed forward in the middle of 7 enemy tanks. What's the word? I got tunnel vision, and by doing so, I ignored my mini-map, in which I would have seen that I was outnumbered and completely flanked by the enemy. I've been able to survive that engagement, therefore I would not have moved into that engagement. The reason I said the Sherman Jumbo has the bad turret, that's a higher health pool than those of the stock turret Sherman Jumbo. The stock turret has 152 millimeters of armor. Yeah, 152 on an American medium tank. The upgraded turret has, I believe, 46 millimeters of armor. It lost over half of its armor. Now, I'd like to see what this Cheery's gonna do. He's been sitting here aiming. He's got a shot. You can see that he has a shot. I think he might have gotten a phone call or had to leave his keyboard. I'm not sure. But he is sitting here, and that KV-13 is going to look for him. Maybe his phone disconnected. I don't know. And there's the KV-13. Yep, he is no longer in the game. So, easy damage and easy kill for the enemy team. Where did that KV-3 had to have shot him from the cap circle? I did not do good in this match. I could have done a lot more if I did not push so far up. But let me pull up the M4 Sherman. Oops, that's not what I want. Tech tree. US tree. Should be here, I believe. Maybe here. Oh, it kicked over to tier 9. Alright, here we are. Sherman Jumbo. Stock turret. 152 millimeters all around. Upgraded turret. Alright, front loses half of its armor. 76 millimeters. Sides down to 50. Rear down to 50. You lose 2/3, just over 2/3 of your armor, with an upgraded turret for a 76mm M1A2. The M1A1 is perfectly adequate. It's just like the M1A2, but 8.51 rounds per minute versus 10.94. But it doesn't matter. Same gun. You can fix that problem by going to Equipment and mounting a gun rammer. That simple. Mount a gun rammer, grab some provisions, like American, I believe they have cola, and let me see if I can, don't know if I'm able to go off and buy. Oh, I got an hour premium account, okay. I'll probably use that for you guys next time so you can see what premium account does. But yeah, it won't let me purchase that until I actually... I know how to into the clan profile. But yeah, there's one mission I'm trying to get with the TOG 2. I need about, I think, 24 experience with a win in order to complete this mission. And I've been stuck on this mission for about 4 days. And here I am saying that the missions are easy. Well, the missions are easy, but this one, as I only have the 1 tier 6, and it's a slow, heavy tank with no armor, it makes it very difficult for completing this mission. I need to get a total of 1,800. No, 18,000 experience, I believe. 100. Probably is 1,800 experience. And there's a T-25 and an ARL-44. T-25 is moving. I just saw his dot move on the map. Did you guys hear that? That building creeps me out. It sounded like someone just breathed in my ear, and nobody is here with me. No one's in my room. So that was a little creepy. But with luck, this little flank will... Ooh, I hear a plane. Where is it? I don't see it. But yeah, I play War Thunder, and when you hear aircraft, it is very dangerous because aircraft are flown by enemy players, and they have bombs. A lot of nasty bombs. And these bombs, they hurt, and they will kill you, and it is definitely not fun being shot at by a bomb, because you can't angle your armor against a bomb, and it doesn't even have to actually hit you to kill you. If it gets close enough, it will kill you. I might be able to cut off that T-25, but I need to help that M7. Hopefully that M7 can draw him. We lost him. T-25's over there. I'm gonna... Ooh, what am I doing? Right, the VK went that way. There is a... looks like T1 Heavy that we have not seen yet. I would very much like to know where this T1 Heavy is at. And flanked by a TOG 2. The TOG 2 only goes 14 kilometers per hour unless you're going downhill. And I went through a stream, so I was going 10 through that. I was going slow, and there's the T1 Heavy. And he is indeed AFK or away from his mobile. So right now he's an XP and credit pinata. I don't like taking advantage of AFK players. I want to give them a fighting chance, so this is as far as I'm going to go. As you can see, I had no chance of hitting him. Plus, if I tried going for him, it would be over. Got there. Well, there's the mission. I was able to get it done. And there's a half hour left in this stream. 172 damage. Yeah, I'm the lowest person in the match to do damage. This guy was AFK, so he couldn't do anything. Let's check the chat. Object 263 is a tier 10 tank destroyer, which has... Actually, let me pull up that tank destroyer for you guys. I'll show you the stats of this thing. There's two tier 10 Soviet tank destroyers. There's the Object 268 and the Object 263. The 268 has a very big and very nasty 152 millimeter gun. Here we are at the 268. Let's go with him first. 152 millimeter gun, M64. 303 millimeters of penetration with armor piercing. 640 damage. Object 263. Now, the frontal armor, 250 millimeters thick, but it's all sloped, and that includes the fighting compartment. The only spot which is not sloped is the gun mantlet, which is 250 millimeters thick. So if you see a 263 that is hull down shooting at you, shoot the gun mantlet. Now its gun, 290 millimeters of penetration, 460 average damage, but it has a fast rate of fire, 7.36 rounds per minute for a tier 10. The tank that there's two tanks that do the most damage in game at tier 10. There's the Jagdpanzer E100 Superstar Destroyer, as I like to call it, with a 17 centimeter or 170 millimeter gun, 299 pen, 800 damage with armor piercing, 85 mil pen with high explosive for 1200 damage. And the other one is the tank that I'm going up for the Jagdpanzer E100 and the FV215B183 in the game. 183 millimeter L4 cannon, 310 millimeters with armor piercing, 930 average damage, 92 millimeters for high explosive, 1300 damage. You'd never load the standard high explosive. The premium high explosive Hesh round, high explosive squash head, I believe, or high explosive shaped head. It's one of the two. 1,300 damage, 220 millimeters of penetration. You load armor piercing and premium high explosive with that tank, and you can go through anything like butter. Now the Panzer B2 is effectively a French B1 heavy tank that was captured by the Germans during the Second World War during the Blitzkrieg. The Germans welded on a little bit more armor and gave it a better commander's cupola, so the commander could actually look and see targets easier because the cupola is a bit higher up and not forcing his head down in the tank with low view range, because he's going to have to open the cupola in order to look out at the view range adequately. This cupola is a slight bit taller, so you can see through it easier. Lot of armor, and as you can see, it is a fairly quick, heavy tank. It goes 30 kilometers per hour on level ground. I have been spotted. There's an M2 medium over there, probably has the 75 mil Howard. Ooh, two. He had bounced. And this is a DW2, and I am lagging again. Shakes, just get me out of here. Yep, here we go. And I set that Panzer on fire again. And the Suma 40. Nice flank by him, but I was able to almost kill that Panzer III. He's on 12 hit points. But I did keep 3 of the enemy tanks bogged down fighting me. Let me tell the team, watch your flank, because there's all the enemy tanks. There we go. There goes the Panzer III. They're requesting fire on that Suma 40. And then the DW2, and there is a Valentine 2 over here. It is the Valentine 2 was a Lend-Lease sent from England to Soviet Russia because the Russians did not have an adequate and materials to make tanks. Purchased some Shermans and Stuarts from the US, and some Matildas and Valentines, and England's version of the M3 Stuart from England. So they got all these tanks as Lend-Lease. They used them against the Germans. They did not much like the Valentine or the Matilda. They have the Churchill 3, which is again, an English version of, or Soviet version of the English Churchill. It was a Lend-Lease. Here it is. It had wide tracks, so it was capable of handling itself in snow. The Matilda 4, skinny, small tracks that didn't work well on rough terrain and soft ground. Same with the Valentine 2. They both proved inefficient for what the Soviets were trying to do with the Germans during, I believe it was Operation Citadel. They needed tanks that were capable of traversing rough terrain and capable of fighting on, again, rough terrain. Alright, I have the Panzer 38NA. I am going to research it. And let me sell the Panzer 8 or the Panzer 38T. Sell that and buy the 38NA, another Czechoslovakian tank used by Germany. Let me make sure I have the right equipment. Yes, they like mounting autoloaders, which I do not like. So the 47mm KWK TL43, 62 millimeters of penetration, 60 damage. The autoloader 2cm, 39 pen, 12 damage. The 37 millimeter 30 KWK 38 TL47, 42 pen, 40 damage. This is the gun you want. The 5cm KWK 39 L60, 67 pen, 70 damage. But to get that, you first need to get the turret, in which to mount the turret, you are going to have to get the tracks, because currently the load limit is not high enough for the amount of suspend or amount of weight that would be on here. Here's why I tend to pack for my consumables. Repair kit repairs all the damaged modules. First aid kit heals all injured crew members. Automatic fire extinguisher automatically puts out a fire as soon as it happens. But I like the multi-purpose pack, because if you use your first aid kit and your repair kit and then you lose a crew member, get set on fire, and have module damage, you hit the multi-purpose pack, it fixes all that. No more fire, repairs your damaged modules, and heals your crew. So it makes for a very good consumable. And for 2,000 a pop, it's not that expensive at this tier. Let me pull up my TOG. Not that one. Consumables. 2,800 a pop. 1750, 1750. It's more expensive, but not by that much. It is very easy to make credits, especially at low tier. And with premiums like the Panzer B2 and the TOG 2, premium tanks. So you are very easily going to make up the money that you spend on these consumables and on the ammunition. And there's a M3 Light, one of the Lend-Lease tanks I was talking about. Very skinny tracks, so the tracks often broke down and did not traverse well on the swampy terrain in Russia, as well as the snowy terrain in Russia. Now, as you can see, I do not have any upgrades except for that gun, so I'm going to be very slow and not that, well, useful for the team, other than getting a couple spots and then getting out of there, and they are capping the base, which tells me from the slow tick counter that they only have one, maybe two guys in the cap circle. I believe it is one. And I'm going to go for the base. Alright, they have a B1 close to cap circle and a M3 light capping. So we need to deal with this M3 light. We need to reset him. So I'm going to move into position. Alright, our T-46 got into the base and reset the M3 light. Really nice play, T-46. Now please, do not die while you are in there. And I wish this leg would leave me alone so I could support 6. And I was not paying attention, and I let the enemy get around my flank. And as you see why I like that thing, the pack. And I cannot penetrate his turret, So I am now going to quickly try to get out of there. I did not see the DW2 moving up, so that was my fault. We do have 3 guys in the cap circle, but I do not believe it's going to be enough unless they spend their time shooting at the AFK M2 medium, which is what they are indeed doing. We will not be able to cap fast enough. Now that the AFK is no longer in play, they are capable. Oh, the DW. Nope, he's not stuck anymore. He used to be stuck, but not anymore. And now we have 2 guys capping, so this just got a lot harder, and the DW2 is inside the cap circle. And they have reset everyone in the cap circle. I think the A32 may have gone out of the cap circle, though. That may be how he got reset. But we're about to lose the medium 3. The DW2 is still in there, so he is capping. And our DW2 is coming up behind the M3 Lee. Already shot him twice and forced him to withdraw. And the M3 Lee's gun was not pointed at the DW2, so he missed. And the DW2 did not. It is now the DW2 versus their DW2 in a M2 medium tank. And the enemy has decided to our DW2 and give their side to him. And the side of his turret makes a real nice target. Our DW2 cannot afford to take another hit by theirs, but neither can he. This is going to turn into a matter of who gets the first shot that penetrates and kills the target while defending yourself from the M2 medium. If you can manage to do that, you will win. However, the M2 medium had our DW2 spotted, so theirs were able to his location and kill him without taking a return shot. So unfortunately, that was a loss. Let's try it again. I have 13 minutes before the end of the stream. I would like to get this a win for you guys, as I just unlocked and bought this tonight with you guys. So if I can't get a win with this, then I will make sure that is the first tank I play on the next stream, unless I manage to get the Panzer IV-H that comes after the Panzer 38NA, in which if I do get the Panzer IV-H, it will be the first tank that I play for you guys. But let's see if we can do a bit better on this game. Oh, thank you, A20, for the little speed boost. Now, something I like with World of Tanks Blitz is there is no damage. This lag is really starting to make me angry. Oh, really making me angry. Alright, you see how red that Hetzer is? I cannot pin his vehicle anywhere. That Luke's I can barely pin except for center of his hull. He left. But yeah, see that Hetzer? I cannot pin anywhere except right above his gun, and it bounced. Let's go after that T-28. Panzer B2. Only one spy can penetrate his armor, and that's the commander's cupola, which I missed. And I think he might have been... Oh, I bounced him. Now let's head for a different location, as I'm not getting effective shots from here. Maybe if I try this little bit of high ground, I can put the Hetzer. And if I can shoot the top of him, my show should go armor without much problem. Gone. Let's try taking out this Panzer B2. And he is now behind cover. Alright, it's him and looks like an M8A1 that is left, and we have not seen a M8A1, which means he is probably AFK. So this should be a win for you guys, and as you can see, this thing I'm going to have to aim here, and I didn't do any damage to him. So, as a light tank, it is my job to scout the field. However, this Lukes is faster than I am, so he will spot the enemy tank long before I do. Now, I did say I do not like picking on AFKs, but I would rather have the kill and the experience so that I can get the next tank quicker and show you guys Panzer IV. The way I played the Panzer IV, I got a lot of hate and the PC version for the way I played it, because most people think, oh, it's the Panzer IV-H, you have to use the 105mm. To that, I do not believe you have to use any particular gun. I have said this already, but 75mm KWKL-48, 105mm, 110 pen, and 160 damage at 7.21 rounds a minute. 6.19 rounds a minute, 64 pen, 330 damage. But you're going up against tanks that have 100mm of frontal armor and 60 to the side and 60 to the rear at tier 6. And 75 front, 60 side, 40 rear at tier 6. The Panzer IV, 80 front. The 105 cannot even kill a Panzer IV from the front. Panzer IV-D, 30. Yeah, it can pick on tier 4s. But tier 5s, one of the weaker medium tank tier 5s is actually the M4 Sherman, I believe. Let me check for you. Alright, M4 Sherman, 51mm frontal armor. You should be able to pin and do 330 to the front of an M4 Sherman. Easy 8, 63. You have a 50-50 chance of penetrating the front of an Easy 8 with the 105. Sherman Jumbo, 101. I'm going to stick with the medium tanks for this comparison for you. Let's see. The Soviets, they have the T-34, which was a tank the Panzer IV went up against very often. 45mm. However, the amount of sloping on the T-34 effectively gave it around 65 to 70mm of armor. You have a 50-50% chance of penetrating that frontal armor. And the sides and rear are also angled like that. Soviets have heavy tank and a Crusader light tank, which 32mm of armor, so not much will be stopping that shell. The Chinu, Japanese, 50mm frontal armor. So you can penetrate a Chinu. The French, they have tank destroyers and heavy tanks, but the BDR G1B, 60mm frontal armor. You have a 50% chance of penetrating him from the front. That's why I do not like the 105s, because I find that the damage factor is severely lacking at tanks of your own tier and higher from tier 5 and up. You're kind of forced to use premium heat ammunition or the high explosive, and then you get 50 or something when you can be using a 75mm doing 160 damage or 135 damage, anything like that, you'll be doing more damage. That's why I prefer the 75mm guns and 30mm and 50mm 88s, all of those guns, rather than the howitzers. 2 is pretty much the exception, because let me grab the KV2 and show you what guns it has. Here we are, KV2. Alright, it gets a 122 at stock. 30mm pen with high explosive, 450 damage. Alright, 152mm M10. 110 pen with AP for 640. 136 pen with AP for 545. 86 pen with high explosive for 960. That can penetrate. Let's see. 75mm of armor, KV2. Let's go with Tech Tree. KV1S, 75mm frontal armor. Joseph Stalin, 120, 90, but if you get on the rear, 60. This gun's looking pretty good with high explosive. And high explosive, when you hit a target, you do internal damage. KV13, 120, 85, 85, you have a 50% chance of fully penetrating the side and rear. 960 damage, 1,030 hit points, 1,130 hit points, 900 hit points, 810 hit points, and when you get the upgrade turret, it goes to, I believe, yep, 860 hit points. T150, 920 hit points. Are you guys seeing a pattern here? Because I am. That 152mm rips holes in targets with high explosive and can one-shot kill. Then it has the 107, 167 pen, 320 damage, 219 with APCR, 270 damage, 54 for high explosive, 400 damage. Still a good gun, but if you want the 107 ZIS-6, get the T150. There's the 107. And this turret is not nearly as big and bulky as the KV2s, so you're a much harder target to actually go through. And 100mm of armor versus 75mm of armor. So you're harder to get through in the turret. But as the stream is coming to the end, I am going to say have a good night, good luck out there, and have fun. Auf Wiedersehen.